And we're live. Hey team, Sam right here with Unsportsmanlike Conduct. And wow, what a day today. Oh my god. So I was gonna make a video for you guys right after we heard the Aaron Rodgers news about re-signing with the Packers. And I was like, you know what, let's hold on. Today's a day where we're gonna have a lot of dominoes fall since Aaron Rodgers got his contract, or actually said he's gonna come back to the Packers. And wow, some dominoes fell right away. I mean, oh my god. The biggest domino of all might have fallen. So we'll start with this. Aaron Rodgers exclaimed that he's going back to the Packers today. Now, there was a report that he's getting a deal worth $200 million with $153 million in guaranteed money. But Aaron Rodgers himself actually came out on Twitter and said, yo, that's not true yet. We're working on a team-friendly deal, but that deal that you've heard, that's not the real deal. So we're waiting to hear what that deal actually is. I don't know why they would report that deal if it's not a real deal, but what we do know is that Pat McAfee is the one who did announce it first, and he also said that, you know, he got it straight from the source that that deal is not accurate yet. No deal has been signed, but everyone else, I don't know who their sources are, but they say a deal has been signed, but according to Aaron Rodgers, a deal has not been signed yet. So we're just waiting to see what happens there. Now, the next gigantic domino that fell right after that was Russell frickin' Wilson. Russell Wilson gets traded to the Broncos. What? A quarterback of that stature gets traded in the middle of his prime to another team? It's never happened before. This is insane. Russell Wilson and a 4th round pick go from Seattle to Denver. In exchange, they get 2 first round picks, 2 second round picks, and a 5th round pick, along with a defender, a tight end, and a quarterback. Crazy. I mean, oh my god, that's insane. Russell Wilson is now a Bronco, and he'll probably get number 3 when he's there as well, because I think Drew Lock was number 3 with the Broncos. And if he's not there anymore, because he's the one who got traded to the Seahawks, then, I mean, oh my god. So that division, AFC West, is it? There's Patrick Mahomes, there's Justin Herbert, there's Russell Wilson, and there's Derek Carr. It's hilarious. I saw this tweet, I think, somewhere on Twitter today. Congratulations, Denver. You just traded 5 picks to move up from 4th to 3rd best quarterback in your division. That's hilarious. But no, I mean, Russell Wilson's, I mean, it's crazy. When I first heard it, I was shocked. I couldn't do it. It was crazy. But, so here's something. So a lot of the analysts are like, oh, well, why would you move to a division that's so tough? I don't think a lot of these quarterbacks really look at it like that. Like, oh, this is a tough division. This is an easy division. They're competitors. They compete their whole life. Russell Wilson thinks, I mean, all of these top quarterbacks believe they're the best quarterback in the world, and they can bring their team, as long as they have a good team around them, they can bring their team to the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson's no exception there. I mean, he is an excellent quarterback, and he believes that with the weapons he has there in Denver, and Bronco land, I was going to say, he can absolutely take his team to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, the division's harder, but, I mean, they're not going to shy away from competition, right? They're going to go all in. I mean, he's not scared. He's not scared. And that's not something that, in my opinion, these professional athletes think about. That's something that we care about because we're the ones talking about it, and we like to see, well, obviously everyone knows that the top team in their division will make it to will guarantee one of the top spots, top 4, and then you get the wild card. But for example, last year we had in the NFC, we had the Rams first in their division, and then the Cardinals and the 49ers. And before the season started, I thought the Seahawks would be right there in it too, but the injury history and everything, I mean, yeah, let's talk about the Seahawks actually now that we're on this topic. So, the Seahawks were kind of middling. I mean, they were on the low end last year, but they were middling throughout the time that they had Russell Wilson for the past few years, just because, they had Russell Wilson, but they didn't have support really. They had Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, who are good wide receivers, but they didn't have a solid offensive line. They didn't have a solid defensive line. They didn't have a cornerback crew. They didn't really have the weapons around Russell Wilson to win. They had an elite quarterback, and you knew that with Russell Wilson, you had a chance to make it to the playoffs and go a little further just because you had Russell Wilson. But the problem was that they could not put the team around him, and they did not have the cap space, nor did they have the draft picks to bring a team up to par. Not only did they not have the draft picks, but even with the draft picks that they did have in the past, they never really drafted that well, unfortunately. So I think, obviously, this is an excellent move for Russell Wilson because he went from a situation where he was carrying everything on his back and he had to play from behind all the time, and any win that they got was because he had to play amazing every single time. But he went from that situation into a situation that is kind of like Tampa Bay was the year before Tom Brady got there. They had all these weapons. They had everything they needed. They just needed a quarterback to guide them. And I think Russell Wilson can definitely guide them to the promised land. Also, when I was thinking about it from this point of view as well, Russell Wilson is getting older, and as we know, every athlete has a certain window that they can play in, that they're best in, and usually that's about 15 years, we can say. So I feel like the Seahawks management looked at this and said, okay, well, we do have Russell Wilson. We know that he is a once in a lifetime type quarterback, but again, just like I was saying, they don't have the draft picks or the cap space or the capital to really surround him with the team that they need. So they said, are we gonna just throw Russell Wilson out there and hope for the best for the next 8 years or so? Or should we try to regroup and rebuild from now? And I think they made this decision knowing that, there was kind of bite them in the ass a little bit because they're losing out on Russell Wilson. But I think they were looking out for Russell at the same time as well. I think they didn't want to hold him hostage for the rest of his career just because, they can't draft properly or something like that. So I think this move kind of helped Russell Wilson get to where he wanted to go, and I think they wanted to do that for him on purpose because of what he was able to bring for Seattle in the past. And I don't think I've heard anyone saying stuff like that narrative, but I just think that's something that I think too. Maybe I'm just being overly emotional, and that's not what they were thinking. But I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they have a heart, and they were able to get him to where he wanted to go. And they got a good haul for it too. They got 5 picks and 3 players out of it. I don't want to say who won or who lost because Denver got what they needed, and Seattle now has capital that they can actually go out there and build a team. So they both kind of got things that they needed. So did one side win? I'll leave that up to you guys. You tell me what you guys think if they won, if one side won or the other side won or whatever. A couple other things happened today. Mike Williams for the Chargers, wide receiver, got a massive payday today. You got to think a 3-year, $60 million contract, $40 million of it guaranteed, which is insane. It's $20 million a year quarterback. I wonder what they're going to do with Keenan Allen when he needs to be re-signed as well. But there were a lot of moves that I thought were going to play out before the franchise tag deadline today, but that didn't happen. Like Tyler Lockett, they're opening to trading him, they said. Actually, that's true. Speaking of, now that Russell Wilson isn't there anymore, Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, what's going to happen to them? Are they completely rebuilding, so they're letting everyone go and they're just going to start from scratch? I'm excited to see what they do this year, honestly, because it's, they're going to be in 4th in their division, which means they're going to get a top draft pick, but they don't even have their own draft pick next year, so I don't know what they're going to do with all this. Which, actually, speaking of, they're going to have a very high first-round draft pick next year because Denver is going to do pretty well. They could make it far in the playoffs at least far in the playoffs. But yeah, so I knew this was going to happen. I knew that once Aaron Rodgers decided where he's going to go and he announced it, the dominoes were going to start to fall. Russell Wilson was the first domino that fell. Whether that had anything to do with Aaron Rodgers or not, doesn't matter. It's just what happened next. And now I'm hearing Mitch Trubisky talk. I'm like, wait a second. So we went from Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, to Mitch Trubisky? I'm sure there's a lot of quarterbacks in between there, because I don't see Mitch Trubisky as being the guy, But I heard they've tied him to the Giants, and he's going to have a quarterback battle between him and Daniel Jones. So they believe he's at least on par with Daniel Jones, which, sure. I don't even know anymore. If you guys want to bring him in to the Giants to have him battle it out with Daniel Jones, be my guest. I mean, they have a lot more problems than that anyway. Let's see what else happened. Josh Gordon re-signed with the Chiefs. Okay, cool. Deshaun Watson expected to be a target for the Bucks, and Cedric Wilson. Okay, so Amari Cooper for Dallas is being rumored that is going to be cut to save on the cap space. So as the wide receiver core for Dallas goes, if they're dropping Amari, it means they have CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and Cedric Wilson Jr. Now, Cedric Wilson Jr. is expected to test free agency, they're saying here right now. They're going to see what he can get. If they lose Cedric Wilson Jr., then the only wide receiver they're going to have signed and ready to play is CeeDee Lamb, because Michael Gallup needs to be re-signed, or his contract's up right now. So, what does this mean then? So does that mean that if they lose Cedric Wilson, they lose Amari Cooper, and they lose Michael Gallup, they only have CeeDee Lamb, what are they doing then? I don't understand what's going on. Does that mean they're going to draft another wide receiver this year? And they can't take Calvin Ridley because he decided to bet $1,500. And actually, one of the games was a Falcons game that he was betting on, so that's no fun. But I don't even want to talk about that right now. But that was today. Today was crazy day. Crazy day. I also heard something about Apple wanting to get in on the Sunday ticket game, because they're trying to outbid DirecTV now. Which, if that's the case, then Apple's going to be even stronger than they already are, and DirecTV is going to be nothing. Damn. I mean, it's pretty crazy what's happening in the world right now. Everyone's going to this live. Well, everyone's trying to get a piece of the NFL. It's ridiculous how many people want a piece of the NFL. Look at this. I'm trying to get a piece of the NFL too, just by sitting here talking about it. I've been talking for 12 minutes about the NFL, and I still have 1,000 more things I want to say, but I'm trying to keep these videos short for you guys, so you stay in touch and stay tuned. I don't want to bore you guys, but I appreciate y'all listening. This was just a crazy rant that I had this day of this craziness of I guess this is the day that the franchise tag expired. I don't even know what to call it. It's just super exciting. I'm going to go do some more reading and watching too. So appreciate y'all watching. See y'all next time.